I'm going to teach you 3 ways to use a clipping mask, and of those 3 ways you're going to create 2 different works of art. You can incorporate several of them together if you want to. I'll be teaching you text, I'll be teaching you shapes, and I'll be teaching you silhouettes. So you may use them together, you may use them separate. I will show you samples, so feel free to look at samples, get ideas. But let's get started. We're going to start with text. I'm going to click Create New. In my Recents folder, you see I have 11 by 8.5 at 300 ppi. That's pretty good. That's not a bad place for us to start, so I'll click that. If you don't see that, you can go to print. It will most likely be the first thing you see if you go to print. Let's do landscape. Although you are not required to do landscape, again, it's going to be whatever you decide, whatever your design calls for, but I'm going to do landscape. Mrs. C, clipping mask, version 2. All right, I'll hit create, and this is going to be very, very simple. Now, before I do text with you, I would like to show you one thing that I think is going to make using text a whole lot simpler, especially in Photoshop. There are other programs where we might not want to do this, but with this program, considering text is a small part of what we do, it's probably better that we don't have the lorem ipsum, which is that font that you always see. Generally, when I would open up a box or open up my text box and do this, you would see lettering. In fact, if I let go, you can see it's right there. Lorem ipsum dolor sit omet. Basically what this is filler text, so that if I was, say, laying out a magazine or an article, I could fill my article with gibberish, if you want to call it, and then go back later and fill it with the real thing. But since our use of text is going to be on a more limited basis, having all of that can sometimes just be a distraction for us. So you're going to have to do what I say, but not what I do. I'm doing this on a Mac, so my preferences is in a different place than yours is. Your preferences are going to be you going to the word edit, clicking on edit. You're going to go all the way to the bottom, and when you get to the bottom, you're going to see preferences. If you remember how we changed the background color for our interface, you probably remember going to preferences. My preferences is in a different location, so I'm going to click out of that. My preferences is here. So I will go to Photoshop, I will go to preferences, and there's my interface. Now, we're not going to interface this time. This time we're going down to type, okay? And here's what we're doing. We are unclicking that last piece there. It says fill new type layers with placeholder text. We don't need placeholder text. We want to just simply type what we want to type, and we don't want to have to get rid of the type that was already there. So click that so that you will no longer get that lorem ipsum. Right, now I hit OK. Well, I'm going to just get rid of this little box since that's not going to actually be my text. So I'll just throw that away. So I'm looking at a blank screen again. I will again go to text. I will make myself a box, and in this box I'm going to type the word ocean. There we go. And there's the word ocean. And right now it's very small, and I have reset my text. So even though I've used some other texts in the past, instead of seeing one of the old texts that I've used, I'm seeing basically a standard text, which is 12 point Myriad Pro regular. From here, I'm going to go to Window. I'm going to go to Character. And there is my character panel. The next thing I want to do is increase the size. Right now, ocean is much too small. The easiest way to increase the size is to place my cursor right under that T and literally drag to the right. And as I drag, try that again. As I drag, I had to highlight it. I didn't have it highlighted, so as I drag, now you see the black box is stretching, and it's showing me how big this word is going to be. Okay, and I do want it to be pretty big. So I'll stop there so that all the letters are in place. While it's still highlighted, I'm going to start selecting my font. And I love doing this because it's so simple. I can just scroll, 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 see something you like, stop, take a look at it. Not sure. There's going to be some interesting things. This is an interesting letter style, and I always try new things. So for me, I'm kind of always looking for something different than the last thing I did. So, and one thing I haven't used is a more of a freestyle, a script. So I might look for one. And if you need to see more letters, just scroll down some more till you find that perfect letter style for you. I'm still not finding that perfect letter style. I'm really looking for a script. If you're not sure, if you don't want to scroll, then just simply look through the samples. The samples are all on the right for you. I do believe, since I'm working on my regular Mac, I don't think I have as many of the samples as you do. So you probably have more than I have. I'm going to try this one. Okay. So the reason I liked this one is it sort of gives me a wave feel, and I think that could work out pretty well with what we're doing. All right, so it's not big enough, okay, but I do like the fact that the letters are touching each other. In fact, I want them to be just a little closer, just to give it more of an oceany feel. Now that the letters are a little bit closer, I know that I can go larger with these letters. So I'm gonna see how far out I can go with this. I might have to enlarge my box. Okay. And so that's gonna work. Now I want you to understand that the next time you open Photoshop, whatever font you have here is going to be the font that opens up. And that can be a problem sometimes because I'm opening up my character box again. That can be a problem because the next thing you do, you might need really small font. So what you can do every time you get into Photoshop and you're ready to start something new, I'm not going to do it because I want to keep this lettering, but if I click on the character panel here and I click on those little bars, see where it says reset character? It will always take it back to that original Myriad Pro 12 point, and any changes I made won't occur the next time I go to open letters. So in any case, I am now ready to do a clipping mask. I'm going to right click on the bottom, oops, All right, what I'm gonna do is click on background. I'm gonna go back to ocean. Click on, hate when things stick. All right, we're gonna go to place embedded. Okay, so I'm gonna pick out some water. Okay, since this is an ocean, I'm going to click the beach and I'm going to click place. And that ocean is gonna land right on top of my word there. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now I have my picture, and that tiny little box that is on the picture, if you click on it, it's going to say Smart Object. Okay, and now that that's there and I've stretched this to go over the letters, all I need to do is go to Layer, go to Create Clipping Mask, and now the word ocean has an ocean behind it. And since the photograph itself is still highlighted, I can move the ocean in any direction. Now there's going to come a point where I might not have enough picture to cover it, but I can move this. So let's just say that's what I like. I'll leave it there. Okay, if you decide that you need to move the word ocean, then you have to click back on the ocean layer. If you don't click back on the ocean layer, you won't be able to move the letters themselves. Okay, so if you're moving the word, you click on the word. If you're moving the image behind the word, then you click on the image. All right, the next thing we want to do is bring in another picture. So I'm going to go to File. I'm going to hit, let me just log out of everything first. Get out of that. Okay. Going to go to File, Place Embedded, and all that means is, if you recall when we were doing our collage, you kept bringing your pictures in, and that was easy to do, but we're saving ourselves that time now. Like now, instead of having to do that, I'm just going to bring the picture right in. And the picture went right behind my letters, and that's good. I like it. It might not have. It might have ended up here, and if that had been the case, then I would have just had to move it down so that ocean was on top of it. Now before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and crop the whole thing. I am going to get rid of the white space here, and I'm going to get rid of the white space here, because I really don't care what the size of this document is. I just want it to look nice. All right, once I do that, I'll click my check mark, and I can get rid of my character panel since I'm done with it. So it has a cool look to it right now, but I want things to sort of stand out a little bit. I want that word ocean to stand out more. So I'm going to click on ocean. I'm going to go to Effects, and I'm going to test out some of my options. Drop shadow is an option that I might like. And again, I can work with the opacity on that. I can work on the size of that cast shadow, the spread of it. Some things I just don't care for. The size, that one's pretty tight. That's a tight looking cast shadow. Do I want a softer look? I think I do. All right, other things. Maybe I would like an outline around it. I don't, but that could be an option. And if I did want an outline around it, that outline could be a large, whoops, that would be way too large, but I could have a large outline around it. I could have a small outline around it, but the truth is I don't want an outline around it at all. Bevel Emboss. I always like Bevel Emboss. It gives things sort of a 3D look. So I might leave the Bevel Emboss. And so I can be done at this point. The other thing I could always try is an outer glow. Now that one, of course, is too extreme. Let me try that again, because sometimes my screen doesn't show up. Clearly the outer glow is working, but the screen isn't. Well, you got an idea of what the outer glow looks like, so I'm just not even going to worry about that one. So let's get away from our crop tool. So I can stop there if I want to. You guys already know how to use adjustments. If you choose to go to adjustments, these are the things that are going to happen. You can work with, oops, it's not working because what I need to do is add a layer and bring the layer above everything. Now in that layer, if I choose adjustments, you can see I can get the brightness, I can get it darker. If I want more contrast, I can have more contrast, I can have less contrast. I can play with colors. If I was using the channel mixer and I wanted to, say, pull out more reds, I could pull out more reds. I could pull out more greens, less greens. I'm not real keen on any of these changes, so I will probably delete channel mixer. I'm always curious when it comes to hue and saturation, and I think what I like about hue and saturation is that I get to choose the color that I want to alter. So for instance, if the yellows in the sky were something that I wanted to see differently, maybe I wanted those to be pink instead, I could choose yellow and then play with the hue saturation, and there I get my pinks if I move to the left, if I increase the saturation. Now, do I want it to be pink now that I see it? I don't think so. The orange is kind of nice. I've seen some sunsets where you have that orange. Now, if I decided to play with something like the cyans or the blues, I would be making some very radical changes, because this entire picture is basically cyans and blues. So maybe I want a more royal blue to this. You know, maybe I'm going for a complementary color scheme and I want that deep blue and the bright orange. I could probably do something like that. And I'm just going to leave it like this because, like I said, this is all about experimentation and just trying things and seeing what you like. So I've got it named. I just need to save it again, so I'm going to hit save. On this particular computer, I have to be very specific about saving things. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So I'm going to hit save as, save on your computer. And this time where it says format, I'm going to go to JPEG and I'm going to hit save again. It gives me an automatic JPEG option, and typically I'm not opposed to what it tells me. If it's too low, I might raise it up a little bit, but 11 is fine. So my end picture ends up looking like this. The word ocean, I've used a clipping mask, and there you go. All right, so I'll let you start with that one, and then I'll show you how to do shapes and silhouettes. Good luck.